Praise be to the Lord, my dear listener. I hope you are well. Today I want to speak on the topic, be patient, it is not too late. In this life that we are living, we all have our own ambitions, we have our heart desires, we have dreams of how we would want to see our future and our lives. But sometimes it takes long before all these are fulfilled. And as we wait, we do go through moments that are not so friendly for us, that are not so favorable. Sometimes they are very disappointing and frustrating. I want to tell you, during that moment of waiting, it is very important that we be careful, because what matters is not how we feel, but the way we handle the situation. I want us to look at the story of this woman in the Bible by the name Sarah. Sarah was wife to Abraham, the Abraham that we know as our father of faith. Abraham is a man who believed in God and he always obeyed him. Abraham, together with a wife, they were married and they waited for quite long before God could bless them with a child. And we see Sarah coming to a point where she could no longer wait upon the Lord, where she could no longer believe in his promises. And we see her becoming impatient with God, and especially in chapter 16 of Genesis, and she moves a step ahead and presents Hagar, her slave, to bear her children with Abraham. And what the Bible presents to us is that after Hagar realized that she was expectant with Abraham's child, she became proud and started despising Sarah. This was Sarah's own making. That moment when she was being disappointed Hagar, it was the darkest moment of her life. Because for her, she could never expect things to be that way. But because she felt that she could no longer wait for God, God had to let it happen and teach her a lesson. My interest is in Genesis chapter 21 from verse 1 to 9, where we see God's time coming and blessing them with a child, Isaac, a son of promise. And here we see that Abraham got this child when he was 100 years old, and at that time Sarah was 90 years. This means that Sarah got a child when she was past menopause. And we see Sarah celebrating and asking, who would have told Abraham that a woman old as I am will nurse a child? And she continues to say that God has brought me joy and laughter, and whoever hears what God has done will celebrate with me. And the word continues to tell us that when time came for this child to be weaned, Abraham prepared a big feast for the celebration. My dear brother, my dear sister, you who is listening to me, I want to tell you it is always good to wait upon the Lord, regardless of what you are going through at that moment of wait, regardless of what people are speaking about us, regardless of the situations that we have to go through as we wait for God to fulfill his promises and our heart desires. This is because after Abraham and his wife had lost all hopes, God still came. After they got to the point where they could no longer believe in God's promises. And we see, like in Genesis chapter 17, when God appeared to Abraham and told him that Sarah will have a child. Abraham was wondering and he asked God, can a man old as I am have a child? Sarah in her 90, can she really have children? And he goes ahead and tells God that let Ishmael be my heir. But this was not God's plan for this family. The plan he had for them is that they have their own son who was to be their heir. And we see that when they were waiting, they came to that point of doubting God because the wait was too long for them. But God is faithful to his promises and he comes in his own appointed time. I want to tell you, my dear brother, my dear sister, it is always good to put your trust in this God because He's God who never fails in His promises. He's God who hears our prayers. The word in Psalm tells us that He honors our heart desires. When we wait upon Him, He comes and He fulfills our heart desires. He fulfills His promises to us. And this is what we see Him do with Sarah and Abraham. They were blessed at a time that they could not expect these blessings. They were blessed at a time when nobody thought that they could have a child. Because in the normal circumstances, a woman cannot bear a child past 50 years. But our God is God who does extraordinary things. He is God who turns impossible to possible. He is God who will never let his people be disappointed. So today I want to encourage you, my listener, that it is good that you don't lose hope, that it is good that you don't doubt God, that it is good that you continue holding to your visions and desires because in God's own time they will be fulfilled. It doesn't matter how long it has taken you. It doesn't matter what painful moments you have gone through waiting upon God. Sarah waited. Sarah cried. Sarah doubted. But God still came. The same people who are doubting God's promises, the same people who felt that it was too late for them, it came to a time when God fulfilled his promise. So this same God will come and fulfill the promises to you. This same God will come and fulfill your desires and the dreams that you have in your life. Many may have been waiting for God to bless them with his spouses. It seems that you are getting outdated. You are getting out of that age bracket where people marry and the people get married. But I want to tell you, God of Sarah, who made her at 90 bear a child, is bringing your spouse. It is not too late for him. You are still in his plan. You who has been waiting to get your own children, and it's like you are being overtaken by age. I want to tell you, God who remembered Sarah, God who remembered Anna, God who remembered Elizabeth is still working things out for you, and He will bless you with your own children. Continue waiting and you will see Him do it. You who has been battling with the diseases in your life, you have visited all the famous doctors in the land. You have taken all kind of drugs and it's like your situation is worsening. Don't lose hope. Continue believing in God. God who healed this man who was sick, who was lame for 38 years, is the same God that you need to continue trusting in. And in his own time, he will pay you a visit and you will experience divine healing and you will stand and testify, you will stand and encourage somebody. You who has been battling with your family and marital issues, I want to tell you, don't give up. Continue taking your part in that family. Continue praying for your family, and God will establish you. It is not too late. God is still active in sorting your issues out. God is still active in seeing that things will work for your good. So be encouraged today. If Abraham and Sarah got their own child at that time, at that age, God will do things work for you. God is our story changer. He is our game changer. My prayer for you is that He will pay you a divine visitation and He will change your story. He will change your game. Those who have ridiculed you, those who have despised you, those who have talked stories about you, they are the same people to stand and say you are blessed. They are the same people to stand and say, God has remembered you. They are the same people who will run away from your life because of the pain that they have exerted in you, because of your situation, because of your struggles. So, my dear brother, my dear sister, I'm here today to tell you our God is real. There is nothing impossible with Him. It is not too late for Him to change things in your life. Continue waiting upon Him, continue praying, be strong, and wait upon Him. Be blessed, be encouraged, don't lose heart. God is coming to change your story. Thank you.